What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the LTL podcast. It is August 3rd, 2023, and this is episode 48. And tonight we're going to conquer something a little bit different in the mix tonight, but it's definitely a story that is worthy. And I promise you, I would not leave this episode because I can keep you captivated with what I'm going to show you this evening. So, this actually goes back to some of my roots in the watch industry. As you know, I've been open before. I used to be in the watch industry. I did it for about 16 years. I wasn't at the level of caliber of watches that I'm going to show you or talk to you about tonight. But I knew that business. I worked for a corporate company. I sold probably millions of dollars of watches of kind of low to mid-level Swiss luxury watches. And through that, I came across a bunch of YouTube channels, and I used to follow a lot of these YouTube channels because they would deal in some ridiculously high inventory, Rolex, Patek Philippe, the list goes on and on. And some of these watches can get up to, hundreds of thousands, if not topping into the millions of dollars. It's a really uh, tight circle of people that deal in these watches. They call them gray market dealers. Essentially, what happens is that when you go to an AD, that's an authorized dealer, you have to have exclusive access to be able to buy some of these certain pieces. Like, you can't just walk into a Rolex dealer and buy a Rolex off the street. You essentially have to be asked to be bought to buy one from an AD. I'm going to try to dumb this down because I know this is not really our forte here, but I'm telling you, the story is captivating and it's going to blow your mind. I was in the watch industry again. I started kind of searching around YouTube and came across some of these channels that were talking about some of this content. And there was some creators out there that had legitimate gray market businesses that dealt in these types of high-end watches. And one of the channels here was the Timepiece Gentleman. And the Timepiece Gentleman started to pick up some steam. We started to hear and see about them probably mid 2020. I'd say June, July 2020. And he was this person, Anthony Farah, that we're talking about tonight. He was a guy that had started this small watch business in Dallas with a friend of his that he actually met through Facebook trading. And eventually the two partnered up and they were kind of buying watches off Facebook and flipping them and kind of leveling up. Well, they got very successful with it, somewhat some success, probably had some financial backers come in and started a small watch store in Dallas, Texas. And when they started to kind of fully launch their YouTube channel, it went like almost viral, like really took off. And what you were seeing, what they were doing, their particular type of content was the behind the scenes, everyday, duties of a watch business. It was super captivating. It would have been probably excellent for like a Netflix series. I mean, they had brilliant photographers. They had brilliant storylines. I mean, they were just nailing the algorithm, like really killing it. And I'll be honest with you, even if you weren't a watch fan, even if you weren't a luxury watch fan, it would pull you in. I mean, I used to read the comments. Some people just like, I don't even like watches. I'm just here for the compelling content. They would hit just all the narratives that you would want to see in storytelling. Um, you know, Bad business deals, people that were bringing fake watches in. Uh, they, they had some robberies and just crazy stuff. And I'm going to get into kind of how this unwinds as we go along in the story. But I'm gonna tell it through videos and some articles and stuff like that. So let me pull up the first article to give you some kind of context as to what's going on in the present day. I'll take you to the present, and like you know that I always do, I always like to go back and kind of tell the history as well too. So let's do this. I'm going to pull up this article, and this was from Watch Collecting Lifestyle. So it says, breaking news: the Timepiece Gentleman saga continues. Anthony Farah posts YouTube video admitting wrongdoings and a $5 million US debt. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit of the article, but I really want to get into just so who you can see Anthony is and what he was doing. And I'm telling you, when you see the first video, you're going to be like, oh, wow, this was going to be really good. So earlier last week, we started receiving text messages and calls from several watch collectors and gray dealers about a link to what allegedly had been posted by the Timepiece Gentleman, aka Anthony Farah, on Reddit. The post on Reddit, titled Coach's Mea Culpa, Latin for my fault, explains that Timepiece Gentleman seems to owe consigners $2 million US in misplaced inventory. So essentially what happened was he made up a story that some of his inventory got stolen, and basically that was a lie. And the reason that he lied about it was he essentially spent all this money funding his lifestyle, probably overshooting his budgets. And you're going to see it. You're going to see kind of the tailspin as to what happens here. So let me read a little bit more from here, and then I'll bring up the first video. I'm going to probably play maybe 5 or 8 minutes of it just so you can get a feeling of kind of who Anthony is. Okay. Basically, this is his posting that came out, and I'll read a little bit of it. It says, it comes with a heavy heart. I have to send this message, but I can no longer leave behind the lies and my mistakes. This is a message. This is a mass text message to each person involved, and it's not easy message to send, nor it will be easy message for you all to read. I want to reach out to you first and explain the situation before you read about it online or in social media. You may or may not be aware that several months ago, I lost my Richard Mille due to being out bar. Now, I want to just put some perspective. A Richard Mille watch can be $200,000 all the way up over $1 million. So, I mean, this is really high-end watches. And again, I might be wrong on my market prices. I haven't really been in the watch industry for a while. I haven't done watch streams. And I'm going to promise you right now, I am not becoming a watch YouTuber again. I just want to report on the story because not only do we, report on crimes that may deal with murder cases, this potentially could be a white collar crime, and it can be pretty big. And I have a little bit of history with this because I used to follow this guy. I used to do streams about him on my when I did a watch YouTube channel because I was, in the business and stuff. But I just want to make promise to all of you, I am not becoming a watch YouTuber again. I just want to tell this story because it is fascinating. It's compelling. It's just the mounting lies upon lies upon lies upon lies. And now it has completely spun into this. And I'm telling you, this is going to be a story that I'm probably going to follow. I probably will be reporting this again because it's very interesting. It's extremely interesting as to what happened with this guy. The amount of things that he's pulled, the amount of times that we've sat here and said that this guy has a lucky shoehorn up his ass. He always found his way out of a situation or out of a lie and just kept trucking and trucking and trucking. And I think, and in my opinion, that with the money that was coming in, possibly from investors, from consignment pieces, selling those pieces, a lot of the shifting the money around, and then it just eventually caught up. So he says, I lost my Richard Mille due to being at a bar, drinking and acting careless. What you not have known is that one of the watches was not the only one lost. My bag that I misplaced contained about $2 million in inventory. Majority of it was on consignment with clients like you. I kept this hidden because I thought it could dig myself out of this hole, which is hole is spelled wrong. Up to now, I wasn't aware that was a problem. Over the last year, I've let my demons get the best of me. I am an alcoholic. I have a gambling problem. I have a spending problem. I let little success and a little money go to my head. I think I'm invisible. And the rules don't apply to me. I would not listen to people when they tried to help me. I think I know everything. Over the last 24 hours, I finally realized I was wrong. In my own worst enemy, and I need help. I have betrayed your trust, and I owe you money. I have never been willing to reach out and ask for help, and that is what got me in the situation I'm facing today. I understand the feelings or thoughts that may have gone through in your head right now. And the only thing I have to say is I sincerely apologize for doing what I did. When I made that mistake, I did not admit to keeping it to try to cover up selling more inventory to pay people slowly. Today, I finally realized I am I am only creating a bigger hole. Until I put a stop to it and I admit my fault, it's going to get worse. Today, I want to admit to you that I owe money for a piece or more you may have consignment with me. So basically, essentially what he did was he would take on people's watches. So, like, say you had a Rolex watch that you wanted to get rid of, you wanted to flip or maybe trade in for a particular piece, or you had access to an authorized dealer to get that piece. A lot of what happens in gray market is that someone can go in and buy it retail. It'll come out of retail and it will probably upscale about $5,000 to $10,000, just depending on the piece. It could go up hundreds of thousands of dollars. There's a lot of controversy about the gray market. Some people like it, some people hate it. I have no fight in it. I think that if you're just doing your own business, you have good business ethics, you do it the right way, then it's your choice to do that. So essentially what he would do is people would send in pieces to sell. Like if I wanted to sell my Bell and Ross watch, I could send it to Anthony and say, hey, I want $3,000 for it. He would probably have a consignment fee of like 8%, 5%. He would take 5% when he would sell it. He would sell it for you, cut you a check. Okay. But that wasn't happening. He was taking pieces, shifting them around, trying to pay off other people with that. So it's basically becomes essentially, allegedly, a shell game, kind of like allegedly a Ponzi scheme. So you're just shifting money around. But instead of paying back your investors or your clients, you're using that money to fund your lifestyle. And that's where things didn't start to add up, because you'll see it in the videos. As the videos go on, you'll kind of see like, wow, this doesn't make sense. This guy couldn't be selling that many amount of watches to fund this ridiculous lifestyle that he's fronting. So I'll go on to read the first apology that he got caught, and then they found out that this was all bullshit. And then we'll go on to kind of tell you his story a little bit. I could ask for one favor. That would give me a time to call each and every one of you to talk personally before making any decisions or putting this message or situation online. I understand everyone is going to immediately want to call me and get answers or a quick resolution. Please give me time to reach out to you and start the process. Again, I apologize sincerely from the bottom of my heart and understanding this has ruined all trust you had in me. I will call you and we can talk, and I'll do my best to fix this. My first steps is starting to clear my head. I'm going on to an AA meeting the next couple of hours. Please give me time to reach out to you, Anthony Farah. So I know that I saw some chats and they're like, oh, this poor guy. It's hard to understand. You don't understand what he has done to a lot of people. He's done a lot of misleading through this. And what happens is when you have someone that comes into this particular business, and like I said, this is a very close knit type of people. So when someone comes in and they infiltrate that, where business might have been established for 10, 20 years and they're doing it the right way, you have someone that comes in and does something like this. What does it do to those other dealers? It makes them look fucking shady and shitty too. And there's a lot. I was watching some streams today of people that are in the business that still have businesses, and they're pissed because this fucks them. And the thing is that a lot of them, I wouldn't say covered for Anthony in the past, but might have said like, hey, I've done deals with him and he's never fucked me over, because dealers work with each other. Hey, I need a particular piece. I can't get it right way. Do you have it? Yeah. Can you send it to me? I got to send it to a client. I'll take my fee and I'll cut you a check and pay you. A lot of that stuff goes on. Or, hey, I have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these particular Rolexes. I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. Could we do a swap and a trade with some money? So again, it's really high-end pieces. There's a lot of money flying around, and it comes down to reputation. It's essentially what this comes down to. It comes down to reputation. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pull up the first kind of intro video that Timepiece gentleman Anthony Farah put out. And this goes back to October of 2020. I'm not going to play the whole video, but I want you to get kind of a taste for what this guy was trying to do. And I'm telling you, he had the look about him. He had great editors and videographers. The presentation was amazing. The drama was there, and the storyline was there. He really, if he just would have done it the right way, in my opinion, he would have just been going smooth sailing all along. But it's just been a lot of debacles, a lot of things along the way that he's just done that have been some really bad fucking moves. We'll get into the blackout story in a little bit, but let me play a little bit of this for you, and you'll get kind of a feeling of who this guy is. And it even went down to, and I can't play the music because I'm sure they'll nail me, the opening music. You waited for that music every single episode. It was a perfect song. It hit, and it went right into the episode, and it was like these 45-minute to an hour episodes, and you were gripped and compelled to the last. I mean, I had people that were coming up to me that didn't even like watches and were like, I watched the guy, I just want to see what happens next week. So very captivating stuff. All right, let's play through this, and I'll give you kind of a taste of who Anthony Farah is.
All right, guys, the time is finally here to get my YouTube channel underway. I've spent months trying to think about how I could create a channel that would somehow add some new value. You know, there's a lot of channels out there that talk about everything from watch reviews to watch industry news to what's going on in the market. And there's even some that talk about the lives of the dealers, but there's none of them that really go in depth behind the scenes and kind of what it's like to really be a watch dealer, or what we go through on a daily basis. You know, one of my favorite YouTube channels is producer Michael. And what you see a lot is you see a lot of the glitz and the glam. You see him showing up in his Rolls Royce or Ferrari, and he's touring these beautiful mansions.
I mean, you're already getting a sense of who this guy wanted to be, And he's going to tell you his story. He's going to tell you what happened. Anthony has been to prison. He's had alcohol problems. He's had drug problems. It doesn't make people a bad person. But in this sense of what he did, in my opinion, it's really fucked up what he did. I mean, he essentially allegedly stole money. It's fucked up. So we'll keep playing this a little bit here.
In Bel Air and Beverly Hills, or he's shopping on Rodeo.
I'm going to probably note too, this is like October of 2020. I'm going to say he's sober here. He's pretty sober, and you can see the lifestyle as the money starts coming in. You can start seeing him. He starts going downhill.
Drive. But what you don't ever see is the early mornings, the late nights, the planning, the meetings, all the organization that goes into getting that together. And then on top of that, all the things that go wrong. You never see the bloopers. You never see the outtakes. And that's what I'm always interested in. I think it kind of tells another side of a story that you don't hear about and people don't like to share. And so I'm hoping to maybe shed some light on that and just bring a little more interesting entertainment to this. Now, I definitely plan on talking about a lot of the typical stuff, you know, watch reviews, industry news, what's going on in the market. But I also want to cover some topics that I get a lot of questions about. Stuff like, what should I get for my first watch? What should I get my wife for Valentine's Day? What should I get my husband? How do I choose between this brand or that brand? I want to get a little more related to.
You're actually hearing the song in the background
asking me in my store, and I want to share that info with you. So before we get into that, I want you to really know who I am and get an understanding of where I come from, how I got into the business, and what ultimately led me to this industry. My story is definitely an interesting one, and I think you will appreciate it. So I've put together a little video that I hope you'll enjoy. Here it is.
Let me just kill this because the song.
This is 15 minutes outside of Dallas. I was adopted, my brother and we grew up in Sherman, Texas. So we grew up, went to school out there, were raised in the small town, but I never really was quite the fan of small town living. And I always knew that whenever I graduated high school and became an adult, I wanted to get to the big city. When we were younger, we used to travel to Dallas and have dinner down there, spend the evenings out there. And I knew one day I was going to move out there, and that was going to be home. So I would say within a month after graduating high school, I was packing my stuff up and I was on my way.
All right, let me just kill the music a little bit here. Don't want to get whacked with the copyright. They play a
lot
lot of
stuff in
music.
my
That's the only
adulthood.
shitty thing.
I've been everything from a waiter, a bartender. I was a salesman. I
Yeah.
was the annoying call person, dialing your number 300 times a day and trying to get you to pay your medical bills and getting hung up on. The corporate environment never was for me.
Sorry, I just got to kill some of this music. So, I mean, pretty slick production, you know?
I was working 9-10 hours a day, picking up
Pretty
client
slick
after client
production.
after client. And I'd go bartend on the nights. So Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday nights. I worked at a different bar every night, and I only picked the bars at the hotspot. So Thursday night hotspot, I was there. Friday night hotspot, I was there. Saturday, Sunday, and I was doing well. I'm meeting some of the coolest people around here, and I'm still young. I'm like 19, 20 years old.
Doodle.
And I got caught up in the action,
but
got into,
you know, if you're not from that area and you're building this story of who you are, you wouldn't know. I mean, this is shot like a Netflix series, you know, and that's what I think they were trying to do for a very long time, is turn this into a Netflix series. And it gave you the backstory. It brought you in, it grabbed you in. Oh, wow. You know, like charismatic dude, you know, living this crazy luxury luxury watch, you know, life. You're gonna see, you know, what he talks about here in a minute.
4 or 5 nights a week. My clients were always out. They always knew everyone, and it catches you real quick when you go from a life of real restricted living to no restrictions at all, and you're making pretty good money at your age. It's easy to get carried away, and that's exactly what I did. Started having run-ins with the law, drunken fights at bars. I ended up, when I was 20 years old, I bought a motorcycle and was being a little bit reckless, and took a spin down Highway 75 and got pulled over, and I ended up running. Well, 45-minute chase, a couple helicopters, who knows how many police cars. I finally get caught, and I go to prison. A year behind bars at 20 years old. I get out just after my 21st birthday. You know, I swore it was going to be a brand new start. I was really going to make something of my life. No, nothing changed. I got back into bartending, still doing a little bit of training, but this time I did make a little step. I went and got my real estate license, and I got on a team with Coldwell Banker, and I started working my way up the ladder.
So again, building that story, building that background, you know, being compelling.
One thing was that no matter how much trouble I got into when I was young, I always managed to outweigh it or justify it in my mind by working even harder. If I was making more money and I was putting more hours in at work, it didn't really matter what kind of side trouble I was getting into or how hard I was partying. And that's just how it resonated in my mind. A few years go by, another DWI here, another DWI here. I finally thought, you know, it's Dallas is the problem. So I packed all my stuff, moved away to Miami.
All right, I'm not going to go too much more, but I just wanted to kind of get you a taste of, you know, how this was building. So again, October 2020, channel launches. They start doing these episodes. You know, people are captivated. They're gripped. Just really compelling stuff. You know, he would start dropping kind of these day in the life videos, you know, titled "My Morning Routine," watch deals, pick up a Lambo, Mavs game, you know, workouts. You know, and I'll play like a little bit of this. I'm just gonna kill the music here. So this tiny little, you know, this tiny little watch store, this tiny little watch place that's selling these, you know, very expensive watches.
All right, good morning, guys. It is 5:35 in the morning. It's Friday morning
on YouTube.
You guys know.
Really good. These behind the scenes videos.
It's been a long time coming. People have been asking for a personal channel. They've been asking for videos of my life, my lifestyle, my day in the life. And, while we do a day in the life on the Timepiece Gentleman, that's more of a day in the life spread out over a week and between multiple people. So I thought it'd be a cool idea today. Friday's a pretty decent, busy day,
again,
to show you what a real day in my life is like,
together.
Starting with the morning. So this video is going to be very quick, simple, straight to the point, to kind of show you how long my day lasts, what all goes on in a given day. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail. I'm going to save that for other videos. I'm going to make, separate videos explaining each.
And that's the thing, Doodle. As things went on and the episodes started to come out and you started seeing things, it didn't make sense. Things weren't adding up. And believe me, when he came out, and I understand what he was trying to do in that first video, the introductory video. It's kind of that rags to riches story. That's what he wanted to do, but he did it in the wrong way. And I believe if he would have just kept his head down, didn't let all the money and the success get to him, and leveled out, he would have been, and that started in 2020, he would have been way above where he is now 3 years later. If he just played it straight, in my opinion, if he would have just played it straight. I mean, they had everything going, the compelling episodes, they had, the slick editing, the music, things that would pull you in. I mean, it's filmed like a Netflix series. All right, let's play a little bit more of this, and I'll just keep playing little bits and pieces of the videos to kind of see, what this kind of was, what he was
part
doing.
Of my video, or each part of my day. But today it's just all about showing you a little bit about my schedule, my routines, and how much I can really cram into one day. So starting off, we're going to go do some fasted cardio and a little bit of HIIT training. So come on.
So, I mean, slick videos, you got the Mercedes, the G-Wagon, you're starting to build that lifestyle. Now, keep in mind, all this stuff it's rented. It wasn't his. This is all rented. All just part of the, part of the persona, part of the front. But again, slick videos. I'm just gonna kill the music here so I don't get a copyright. Slick videos, filmed really well, showing the watches. I wish I had this storytelling skills. It's just really good.
32 ounce.
So it's just showing his life, what he did, but it's all fake. This is the store that was in Dallas that they had. I'll play a little bit of this, and I'll be honest with you. If they would have just stayed here, if he would have just stayed here in Dallas and not let his ego get to him, so essentially what happened down the line was him and his partner split. His business partner split. Marco, his business partner, ended up staying in Dallas. They split off. He started another watch company called Grand Caliber. Marco really was the intelligence of the watches. He knew watches like left and right. Anthony was going to be the face and be kind of the business guy, but couldn't fucking balance a fucking checkbook. Couldn't balance your fucking daughter's checkbook, your 5-year-old daughter's checkbook, obviously. But, and essentially what happened was there was too much drama going on about a year and a half in. They were bouncing around in Dallas, trying to figure out locations. Marco and Anthony had a falling out. There was some business dealings. They ended up splitting the business. Anthony let his ego get to him. I'm going to go fucking move out to LA. Well, that was like the worst thing for him. He's, a known addict, struggle with alcohol, drugs. You're putting himself into that high lifestyle scene and just doing things that you shouldn't be doing. And of course, you're going to fall back into that. Again, being out in LA, knowing he had some gambling problems and stuff like that, spending problems. If you're living out there, you can drive it out to Vegas in a couple of hours, and just all these trips to Vegas, just really flowing through all this, money and this investors' money. And it didn't start making sense. So I'll play a little bit more of this and we'll keep moving through some videos. I have some articles for you, and then we're going to get to the really juicy stuff where he is now in present day. So I hope I'm captivating everybody here. I know this is a little bit different stream for everybody, but it's definitely something that needs to be reported on. I think the story is going to be big. I think there's going to be some major criminal charges. I mean, there could be potentially wire fraud going on. There's major fraud probably going on. This is just something definitely, for authorities that I'm sure they're going to look into. If I was an investor and someone lost $2-3 million of my money, hell yeah, I'd be calling the cops.
Anthony.
Good morning, Joe.
Good morning.
If a watch is sold through Shopify, it creates a receipt, I'm guessing, not an invoice. Do we need to go in and create, but that filters in through QuickBooks?
We don't need invoices when it comes through.
I've again, I was in kind of low luxury, I wasn't in the caliber of watches these guys sold, but I knew them, I understood them. I couldn't tell you a lot about this because I didn't deal with it every day. I didn't really study it, but I was in low to mid-level luxury stuff. Interesting things. I mean, you'd have guys and girls that would come in that were married, and they would come in and pay the credit card for their husband or wife and cash for the boyfriend or girlfriend. A lot of stories like that. I've met some celebrities through it. A lot of Patriots players have come in to the store. I've met a couple of actors and actresses that's come through. I've met hosts of like ESPN. They might have been on vacation. They popped through my store. I think the biggest person that I've come across is Bill Murray, the actor. A bunch of Patriots players, just stuff like that. It's an interesting business. It's fun. You have to be a very, very good salesperson, and you have to have a lot of patience because people tend to come in and tell you their life story. So you have to go through that experience and that venture with them before you can essentially ask them to buy a particular piece. So it is very time consuming business. It takes a long time to close a luxury piece. It's just interesting. Met a lot of interesting people from around the world. And I made a lot of great friends through it. So it's really cool. Thank you for asking. All right, we'll play a little bit more to get you a little bit touch of the day in life, and I'll skip through some day in life so you can kind of see what was building here. Again, I think this was a high point in Anthony's life at this point. He seems to be great. He looks good. He looks sober. I think he was very grounded at this point. But then when that shift happened and the business split, I think that's where things got fucked up, and he went out to LA and it really fucking spun him. So we'll keep playing a little bit of this. I'll give you a little bit more taste of the videos, but these were just compelling. They were just really great, slick videos that they produced.
Shopify.
Okay, so is there a way?
Transfer it over into QuickBooks. So if we buy something from a wholesaler, obviously I have to create a bill to pay them.
Okay.
But if they buy something
Especially
from
if you
us,
have
I
addictive
create an
personality.
invoice so that we can pay them. So the only invoices that I would create in QuickBooks are for dealers.
Hey, Jimmy.
Yeah, what's up, man?
I just talked with Ty and Joe. So I told them to send me a Word document with all the required info that they need for invoices. And we're going to start giving that to the spreadsheet. I'm going to cut up. Yeah, I'm going to do turkey and broccoli. I'm going to do turkey, spinach, and green beans.
But I think this is what captured everybody, is that you weren't seeing this before in other watch dealing videos. They were really showing you kind of the behind the scenes stuff.
Should have been 40 grand.
Bro, I'll take 20 of these at 40 grand and I'll keep 19 of them.
I love it. I've wanted that thing before the hype.
It's good looking, man. All right, so I have to go to San Francisco tomorrow to deliver another watch. Are y'all in town on Sunday?
Yeah.
I'll text you here in a minute when I know where I'm coming.
All right, good deal.
All right, bye.
All right, bye.
Geez, it's only 3. Wow. It's 3 o'clock. It's been an extremely busy day. Headed off to the bank. I normally go around 2:30, 3 o'clock, get some wires out, drop some checks, and then hopefully my car is ready. I've got to go pick up a warranty card from a client, and then my car should be ready at the shop. So I'll head out to Fort Worth and go pick that up, come back, go work out again. And tonight, Darby and I have the Mavs game. And then,
but see, you're getting kind of that behind the scenes. You didn't see this in other watch YouTubers videos. Not really much more here. I'm going to pop up to another video just so I can show you some more of the kind of slick production, you know, what they were doing. This one was called Day 6, Day Trip to LA to deliver a $500,000 watch, and I'm giving away a Rolex. So we'll play this. I'm going to kill the music a little bit here.
That's not freaky at all. All right, well, that's a little embarrassing. Seems I went to the wrong house. So I've been standing outside
It's
some
things
random
like
person's
that,
house
you know?
for 10 minutes waiting on them to come. Let's see.
Yeah, they get crazy, Mary. I mean, some of these get really crazy.
I'd recognize it again.
Now
All right, let's try this.
this is after the business split, and he's now on an LA doing his thing. So let's see. I'm gonna get up to here we go.
Where's your security team at?
Just me today.
Okay, nice.
I already met y'all, so it felt good. So here's the rainbow. I'm going to actually.
You want content for YouTube? You want to be a YouTube star?
Me?
Yeah.
All right, so here is how this deal is working. I just met these guys. They're awesome. They got some badass inventory, but it's our first big deal together. So to show good faith, I brought my rainbow. Brought my rainbow Daytona out here to let
That's
them
an
hold on
insanely
to
expensive watch.
as collateral while I take this watch and run it to Beverly Hills. I'm going to drop it at another dealer's office while he confirms with his guy. They're going to send
About
me a wire. I'm gonna
$100,000
run to the
watch
bank,
there.
grab a cashier's check, bring it back to these guys in exchange for this. And then
So the seed money came from investors, and then basically I think what was happening was, you know, he's getting these, like I was telling you, getting consignment pieces, doing stuff like this. I'm going to go run this watch here and there, and kind of, in my opinion, allegedly shuffling around that money, essentially a shell game, allegedly. And then it just caught up. You know, it caught up. You know, things just didn't start making sense. You know, he's driving around in Ferraris, he's driving around in Lamborghinis. And granted, people can be successful with their business. We don't know essentially, you know, what their balance sheets are. But when he started sharing some of that information, it didn't make sense, because he was saying, like, we're selling $500 million of inventory in a month. I mean, I've never even heard of anything like that someone can move that amount of watches. It almost seems like virtually impossible to do that. Again, you know, at the small level, just this guy basically out of a small office or out of his backpack doing that amount of business, it just didn't add up, didn't make sense. So I'll play a little bit more of this, and then I'll pull up some articles and stuff like that just to show you, and then we'll take you up to kind of present day.
Get my watch back. A lot of hassle to go through.
Yeah.
But when you're talking about $500,000 and we're strangers, got to build a relationship. So the watch in question that I sold is this also rainbow, factory rainbow Daytona.
A big,
So it's
big
like the
heavy
baby
hitter.
brother to this one. Gorgeous piece, brand new.
I'll show you some of the watches here.
So we've got, let's see here, we've got the AP 15202 Jumbo, and what is that? Is that the green dial?
Yeah,
It
you
looks so
know, something
black.
different tonight. I think it's
I
worthy
don't
of reporting. Again, you know, I used to be in the watch space. I used to do live watch streams. I mean, the other night it was over on my friend JJ JJ's Hangout. I think he changed the JJ's Watch Hangout or JJ's Hangout. Those guys do dedicated watch streams. They talk about these particular pieces. They're really into that. I still have a love and affectionate for watches. I'm just out of the business now. I've been out of it for over a year and a half now. And I just wanted to do more of a podcast type of channel. So just to let you guys all know, I'm not becoming a watch YouTuber again. I'm not going to do watch live streams, but this is something that I'm going to follow because it does compel me. These are very expensive pieces, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And I can understand when you get something like that in your hands and you have the capability to show that off and you have an addictive personality, this makes you feel empowered. You feel important. You're meeting with these people. You're hanging out. You're partying with these people. You're living this somewhat fictitious lifestyle. You're the gatekeeper to all these pieces. It's a very powerful thing when you're holding pieces like this. As I was explaining before, this is a very, I wouldn't say small community, but everybody kind of knows everybody that's the heavy hitter dealers in this particular group of people. So, we'll play a little bit more and then I'll play some more videos here and pull some articles up.
Still looks fly there. Let's see a little
That's
hint
solid
of green.
gold.
Yeah.
Man, gorgeous piece, but
Most of these are solid gold.
you've got
That's stainless.
skeleton. This thing I sold for. I had to convince one of my clients a year and a half ago to buy this thing at $83,000, and today it's $180,000. Got the yellow gold jumbo gold dial, also a yellow gold jumbo blue dial.
These are all APs.
We've got an AP 26331 chronograph black dial. Got an AP offshore diver, an AP Royal Oak discontinued model, rose gold 41.
Probably get killed in the comments for that one. I can't see anymore.
And a Roger Dubuis.
So it says a Roger Dubuis,
Is this a double
right
terminal?
there.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes.
Wow.
That's a solid gold watch.
I think it's massive.
These are all handmade too. Keep in mind, it's all handmade.
Yes. Well done.
Crazy, right?
Thank you. Oh wow, you see that? Phew, man, you can't even like.
That's a
hardly
Bouvet.
Get
He's a very, very high
how
end. For
beautiful
me, it's
this
probably $1
watch
million.
is. Is that,
Over $1 million.
is that a meteorite dial?
It's a turbulent.
But the dial, meteorite
What do you mean in
on the dial?
the shell?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meteorite.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I think so.
I think it is.
Mhm.
That's a meteorite dial. That's from
It's
an
a very special.
actual meteorite.
They only make the one 30 in the world.
30 pieces.
Bouvet.
Yeah,
Wow.
30 piece.
Very expensive.
What's the retail on this piece?
This is a. Let me check.
So we've got 30 pieces on this one. This is a piece unique.
It's unique. This is. I think this is 100 piece.
Now these
100
are all
pieces on this one.
handmade.
Wow.
Very intricate
Need to see this one.
detail. And you obviously see the gloves, how they're handling them. The silk glove. That's Bouvet,
Yeah, that.
Swiss brand.
Wow. This is a piece unique, right? One
It's
piece.
unique. Yeah.
Wow.
That means it's one unique piece. That's only one. That's only one of those in the world.
Okay.
And that's all hand engraved. All that engraving you see is all
So
hand
what's
engraved.
price on this one?
600.
600,000.
Retail price 600,
600,000.
1.2 million.
Okay, so the retail price on this one,
Mhm.
600,000.
600.
Retail price on this one is 600,000. Retail price on the piece unique is 1.2 million.
1.2 million.
So all in all, we've got 2.4 million just in these three watches right here. And he's got these, that, more stuff in the safe, this. It's a pretty incredible spread right here.
So can you imagine you have access, you're hanging around with these particular type of people, you have access to these particular pieces, you're trading, you're selling them, you're buying them, how the high you must get from that, especially if you have a very addictive personality. It's almost like a drug. You know, it's hitting that dopamine. You're wearing these pieces. You're hanging out with these people. You're driving around in Lambos. You're driving around in Lamborghinis. You're staying in penthouses. You're going to Vegas. You're gambling. You're partying. You're living this lifestyle, but it's fictitious. It's fictitious. It's all funded by your clients and your investors, allegedly. All right, let's play a little bit more of the day in the life, and you can kind of see now things are starting to kind of unwind a little bit. We started seeing more Vegas trips. More Vegas trips. Gambling. Spending $100,000 on black.
I like shake.
You scared?
It's $20,000 right there in chips.
Oh. 10,000 on black, and it hit. So it's going to be a good start to Vegas.
Dude, your thing like keeps automatically like. Why does it do that?
20,000.
Marco will be having a heart attack right now. I'm sorry, Marco. Don't be mad at me.
Sorry, Marco.
Yes.
60,000 on black.
Who's that for you? Could I get another one from you?
All right,
Well,
60,000.
it didn't matter because allegedly it wasn't his.
On black. Let's see. Let's go.
Thank you. Yeah, they're both great. Oh, they're not. No, they're not.
No, they're not.
Let's do this. Thank you.
60,000. He just doubled up his money.
Let's go.
No, and the problem is that when you come into that lifestyle, and yeah, exactly, Rick. It's like monopoly money. You know, the thing is when you come into that lifestyle and you're not shown or grown into core values around that, and you have a very addictive personality, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And you know, you're just going to have the next person or the next sucker around the corner to invest or, you know, get you out of maybe a potential mess that you may be in. So we'll keep playing a little bit more of this, and I'll keep playing through so you can kind of see how it kind of starts to unwind. You're in here. Please smash that like button. I really would appreciate it.
I need it for the jewelry show anyway. I'm gonna watch the diamond dealer.
Absolutely,
That's the
Daniel.
only reason we have an absurd amount of cash. You don't mean that. You don't.
But I'm almost guessing, you know, and now you start to kind of look at this stuff. You know, was he taking money and betting it to double up his money because maybe he needed to pay something, pay an investor or pay a client off or, you know, shuffle that money around? Again, this is all alleged, but you start kind of adding all this stuff up and looking at it now, knowing what you know, the end result of this. And like I said, along the way, things weren't adding up. So as people started to kind of look in and invest this guy, they found out a lot about his past. Now, he used to do, how can I say this nicely, massages. And then that got out. And then they tried pulling this blackout stunt where they blacked out all their social media, blacked out all of YouTube, made this buzz around their channel. I mean, for Christ's sakes, People Magazine was writing about them. They were all over the internet to create this buzz, but it was all the wrong. It was the wrong attention that and they didn't even need to do it. And that's the thing. And he had these stumbles and bumbles along the way and continuously did these stunts that it was like, dude, you didn't need to do that. And I said this from the beginning. In October of 2020, if he would have kept his head on straight, had good people invest in him and lead him in the right way and not let his addictive personality get in the way, in 2023, he would have been the person that he wanted to be because he had this, you know, capability to figure out how to captivate people in YouTube videos. Let's just say it. I'll put it out there. He had charisma on the videos. They had, bad business dealings. They had great business dealings. They had all the formula to make this very, very successful. And he fucked it up. And he fucked it up a lot. And that's why people started coming down on him. And again, he had his core fans. There were always people there. And this guy was like the ultimate fucking comeback story. It was such up and down, up and down. It was a fucking roller coaster. And I always said, I don't know how the fuck this guy got his way out of this mess. He found either some clients or some fucking investor to pick up his debt and keep rolling along this kind of train that he was playing in. And the sad thing about it is, I feel bad for the victims. I feel bad for the people that gave this guy watches, that gave this guy any money, people that followed him, that that were his employees. Now they're fucked because they have the stain of this guy on top of him. And what if they wanted to continue in the watch business? Are you going to trust them now? So it sucks. He fucked up a lot of things, and he fucked up a lot of people's lives. And to the level, and he'll go into it later, to the level he'll say, this is 100% on me. I think that's the only little bit of credit that I have to give him, that he's going to take the full load for his responsibility. But when you see in the apology video, he blames everybody but himself. He blames everybody but himself. And there are victims in this. And it just completely sucks, And that's what, like I was saying before, these other gray market dealers that revolve in this business, and I don't know their lifestyles, but they don't seem anywhere near out of control as this guy, is that a lot of people get taken advantage of, and that sucks because now it ruins the industry. It ruins the trust of all these other dealers, and they're pissed. Believe me, they're pissed. I was watching streams today. All right, let's get back to a little bit more of this video, get some articles up, and then we'll get to the really juicy stuff at the end.
I don't like the house doesn't mean that.
Yeah, of course, Jack. It's always about the victims in these types of cases.
Sure.
But you can see it now.
All right, guys. So
starting to get out of
I
hand.
played 60,000 on.
Oh
Black
yeah, I'm
and
playing.
hit.
Oh yeah. There's two
I've been
two
up and
videos
down
that
a
came
little
out.
bit, so now I'm feeling a little more aggressive. I've got 40 left, $5,000 chips.
Just doesn't know when to stop.
I'm about to go
I'm
one more
playing.
time, put it on black, and just see what happens. So follow me. Here we go.
There we go.
Dropping it all over the place.
Yeah.
Did you have a nice break, Andy?
Too short.
Too short? I hear that.
Hit again.
You know what I mean?
Don't be afraid to take a risk, but only take a risk if you can afford to lose.
All right. So that was. So Lucky Phil said he'd have more than 5 million stashed away somewhere, surely. Of course. But, all that greed took over. All right, let's play a little bit more. So again, another big misstep in his judgment while out in LA. He decided to go out and rent this 20,000 square foot penthouse in fucking downtown LA. It was ridiculous. It had a fucking helicopter pad. By this point, everybody is like, there's no fucking way that this guy could be living this life. Like, definitely somebody's investing in backing this, or where is this fucking money coming from? So we'll play a little bit of this.
Right now, okay? Okay. You say yes. We'll sign a year lease. 1 year lease. Right now.
I would have to take it up to get a little higher.
Can't show y'all.
Yeah. We'll have to take it up a little higher, but that's, now we're getting closer.
Yeah.
Getting kind of closer.
Jimmy.
I really think we're getting closer. I could, you know what I'm saying?
Let's keep seeing it.
25,000 square feet. Check
Jimmy,
this out, the other bedroom.
I offered him this much.
Oh my God.
I'm gonna keep my feet off the bed. I just want to see what it feels like.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay, I'll take it. Okay, hang on. Selling point. Does it have its own pool?
I'm gonna kill this music though. Look at this thing. This is like on top of LA. And he rented this for about 6 months. I'm just killing the music so I don't get a copyright strike. Sorry.
It's completely excessive. Like, completely excessive.
Oh my God! Wait, how big is the freight elevator? A car.
So Jack checking in saying, that's when we were in that's when we in LA Watch Space started asking questions, but his fans called us jealous and called us haters. Yeah, man. I mean, this is really, in my mind, when things started to fucking really go downhill. I mean, it started getting bad. But
You have to disassemble it and then reassemble it.
I want to put a Ferrari in here. Or can you crane it?
I mean, well, this is 52
We're
stories.
just hypothetically talking. Wow.
But again, that lifestyle starts getting to you.
This is retarded. Wow.
Yeah, 100%.
Let's go.
We're so high up on the 50. We're on 53, but you can't even see levels of 34-story buildings. So it's almost 20 stories. You got to go over there and look down just to see it. That's how powerful it is. Wow. Now check this out. And then this right here is the showroom.
Dr. Bob.
Look at that view.
What do you guys think? Excessive? Yes. Should we do it? I have an idea. You lease it to me at the same rate as the other one, and I allow the building to throw events to where you could also capitalize on top of it. And let's just say once a month, y'all want to throw a big event to promote the building. You want to sell spots like that vendor, like Athletes First did. You want to use the whole unit to bring in 20 vendors and do a big.
And here's the thing. I think, in my opinion, he did have some great ideas, but he never executed and never followed up on them. So he would talk all this shit in front of the camera, and then you never saw any follow-up on his videos. It always seemed like he was trying to dig himself out of a hole all the time. And that's where, like I said, once this penthouse came into it, this is where things started to really fucking spiral out. Yeah, Rick D, 100% narcissist. 1,000%, dude. 1,000%.
An event to capitalize even more on it.
I like the creative thinking on that.
All right, so we came over here just to look at this beautiful penthouse because they are also the ones that are hosting us in this other thing. And then after we got to looking at it, looking at the space, you know, the creative mind kicks in. We started thinking about what office space is going to cost me, what travel time is going to cost each of us, you know, Darby and Liz living over here in Maria del Rey, us living in the Hills, the office in Beverly Hills, and then the experience for the client. I was looking at a space that was 1,500 square feet. This is 25,000 square feet. And then you just start thinking of just for my business, does it make sense for my business? Absolutely not. It's way too much. Does it make sense for us to live in? No. And that's part of my hesitation, is the fact that you lose that intimacy of a small home. But on the business side, we just paid $20,000 for a 3-day event next door, along with about 20 other vendors. If you do so.
All right, I'm gonna nix this video. I'm gonna go on to another one here. Here's him talking about designing the space, that penthouse.
Space here. Everything is more or less oriented towards each other in conversation, but also oriented to the view.
Yes.
You have dining for at least 12, 14 people. When there's a party, this is the space that they're in. And this is really more akin to like a luxury hotel space, less of a home, like you were saying, that's kind of like cozy. That's where you kick off your shoes and watch TV. This is where you host. This is where you show off.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Now this is where we'll spend time living. I love when I walk into a home and there's just trees and like just go crazy with the plants.
You have 2 chairs facing in, they can even swivel.
Now, keep in mind, I mean, you're now out in LA. You're this guy that has a little bit of clout around you. You're dealing in very expensive watches. These fucking people don't know who you are. You're coming off as this guy that has a lot of money. And, you know, you're living this kind of fictitious lifestyle and people are believing it. That's just whacking that dopamine all the time. You know, it's living that high, chasing that high all the time. And this definitely was his high.
Towards the TV as well.
With the booze and the drugs and all that stuff, allegedly. Actually, he admitted to that in a later video.
Skip the chairs.
Not allegedly.
And a massive, oversized sectional.
Okay.
And then a big coffee table.
Okay. And that's
So Jack says it's easier to assess Anthony from a little distance rather than being too close and being charmed by his natural charisma. Many people in his presence buy into the dream, no matter how improbable. It's completely true. You know, he's very charismatic and on camera. I don't know him personally, so I've never been around him. And I think that's what was extremely captivating about this particular channel. So again, doing some design here with the penthouse. And what I wanted to do now is just bring up, you know, this guy was talked about. Let's see. Let's share some of these articles, and then we have a couple more videos, and then I'll get to the juicy videos. You know, this guy was being talked about. He's being interviewed all the time. Here's an article from Life and Style back on December of 22, how Anthony Farah made his millions with the Timepiece Gentleman. You know, it's home and living, and it goes into a deep article about his background, how he did it, how he's doing it. You know, here's another one. This is from dailymail.com. Is it time to invest in a luxury watch? Anthony Farah's Timepiece Gentleman reveals everything you need to know. I mean, people were buzzing about this guy. He was being talked about, positive and negatively. Let's see. This was the blackout that I was talking about. Dallas-based Timepiece Gentleman allegedly makes off with customers' cash. And that was that blackout stunt that I was talking about that essentially ended up backfiring in their face. And that's really where people started to kind of see the sketchiness coming out. We'll go into another quick article here. I'm just showing you some headlines. Just some headlines. You know, this guy had a buzz. Tech Times was writing about him March 2021. Famously known as the Timepiece Gentleman, Anthony Will Farah reveals his luxury brand collection. Full articles about this guy. I mean, he had a buzz. And then with the good and the bad, you know, with the good, we heard about bad as well. This made People magazine. Luxury watch dealer speaks out after being robbed at gunpoint in Hollywood Hills home. Now, there's been some speculation about this one. Apparently, there was 2 robberies twice. One was away from the home. One was in the home. It just seemed kind of sketchy. This opened up some more sketchiness around TPG as well. But just to give you a little bit of like the whirlwind and all this, you know, shit they were involved in. Okay. Let's see this. Oh, here's an article about, check this out. Guess how much he was paying for rent on that. DTLA, Dallas to LA penthouse. DTLA penthouse sniffs record $95K per month. 19K, 2 floors of luxury entrepreneur relocating from Texas. I mean, they were writing about this guy. This was a LA real estate forum. I mean, he had a buzz. If he would have just played this straight, he'd be in a much better position than he is now. I mean, look at the articles that are written about him. Look at it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right. Here's some bad business decisions. I wanted to play this.
Tomorrow.
My bad. No, he's sending me a wire today. He wanted to FaceTime and make sure.
That tattoo was a bad decision too.
So we sold like, I don't know, since Friday, like 19 watches, I think Z said, which was pretty crazy. Oh, it's two-tone sky.
Yeah, LA.
Sold two-tone
Exactly,
sky,
Zach.
full rose gold root beer, yellow gold or stainless steel sub. And we could talk about this because a lot of people see it on Instagram, but haven't seen it on YouTube. Yes, Z and I bought a Ferrari. It's a pretty cool deal. It was completely random, but one of our good clients drove up in it, and I went out and was like, hey, I'm gonna go take that for a spin. And he made a comment and said, well, if you drive it, if you take it for a spin, you have to buy it. And so we got to talking, and I asked how much. He said to pay him out the equity that he already had in the car, take over the payments, and at the end of the term, pay it off.
Bad business deals.
And we own it. So numbers came out to $70,000 down, $3,100 a month, and then he has 42 months left on his note. And then I think the payoff total will put us into the car for like $300,000. So we're buying that 488 Spider for $300,000. I've already got instant equity in that car. I could sell the car right now with only after owning it for 5 days and make a great profit. I also posted some stuff on my Instagram talking about after we posted that, and people, the small group of people that always have to give their opinion, and that's most of the time uneducated guesses, started.
So another thing that he always did too, he always fought with the internet, and you cannot do that. He would always fight with people in the comments section. Holy shit. It's like, you can't do that, dude. You just need to ignore the comments. There's going to be people that love you. There's going to be people that fucking hate you. Believe me, I get both of it too. Believe me, I get both of it. We'll play a little bit more of this, and then we're going to get to the really 2 juicy videos that were dropped over the last 48 hours. I know you're dying to see that, but that will be the climax of this presentation tonight. But definitely a story that is worthy of following up on. I'm definitely going to follow this. I will report more on this because I think that this is going to go down hard. Yeah, he does talk about himself a lot. That was another thing.
What's the word? Like, started kind of roasting us for buying another car and not putting that money in the business. And I posted a good thing on Instagram talking about why we buy cars. Like, that car, we've only had it for 6 days. And yesterday, the whole group and I went out, got invited to a music video shoot for Rampage and some guy that I never heard of. But regardless, it was cool because I got to meet Rampage, and his one of his employees is actually bringing me his watch tomorrow to do a full overhaul on it. And then I met his financial advisor, who also has an office 2 blocks away.
But see, this is the thing. It's shell moves to me. All right, we get the Ferrari. Look, we got invited to this music shoot. I met someone that's in, a star. I met his financial advisor. You see what I'm saying? It's always this angle to get into celebrities and get into their money and get into. That's how I looked at it. It was always using this front to post up, to get to people, to get access to them, whether their money, their influence, whatever it is. It was a shell game that he kept doing, trying to find his way around. Who's the next person that I can bring into this, possibly take their money, whatever he was going to do.
And has a pretty large roster of clients that are NHL, NFL, NBA, MMA clients. So just by owning that car for 5 days, and I haven't even made a payment on it yet, I've already picked up 2 new clients. Well, 1 new client and 1 new referral source who has a roster of clients that can potentially do that. So, and while we're on it, I actually wasn't planning on talking about it or planning on discussing this right now, but while we're talking about it, yes, at the beginning of the year, the first video that I did, I said I was going to go through this humble year and I was going to cut back and get rid of everything, downsize.
You don't do that.
Sell the bikes, get rid of the cars. And I was going through the motions to do that. I was 100% committed to it. I've already got rid of our apartments. I've downsized that part. And then I started looking into selling the cars. I started looking into selling the bikes. And the car market is down. I've put a lot of money into both of my cars.
I own all of my bikes outright. If I were to sell the cars, technically I would take losses on them. I bought them at the peak of the market, and then not only did I buy them at the peak of the market, but I also put a bunch of money into it. I think my G-Wagon, I put $30,000 or $35,000 extra into. The Lambo, I put about $25,000 extra into. If I were to sell them both right now, the payoff would be what I owe. So I'm at a break even, meaning I also lose all the extra money that I paid. Now, I always understand that I lose money, that you lose money on additions to cars. I wasn't worried about that.
You're
but
getting an idea
getting
of
rid
how
of
his
cars
business
at
acumen
just a
is.
break even and not getting any money back, or possibly having to come out of pocket any
He's a
money,
quick talker.
doesn't make sense when the only goal is to free up 10 grand a month in payments or 12 grand a month in payments, whatever it is. So I got to thinking, there's a really good post on my Instagram, and Darby, if you'll will just put a picture of that post up there so you can go read it, guys. But everywhere I drive my cars, people pull their phones out and they take pictures, they take videos. When I stop somewhere and I get out and I walk into a coffee shop, to a restaurant, whatever, I'm always wearing branded gear. People see me. Now, not every single time does somebody come up to me, but a lot more than they would if I was driving a Honda. And let's just be real. If I was driving a Jeep, people probably wouldn't get up and come talk to me just because my hoodie's so badass. I have my logos put on the car. I'm about to wrap the Lambo. Now that we've got the Ferrari, we're gonna put a banner over the top of it. It's marketing. It's always marketing. Again,
you're getting a very full-on scale of Anthony Farah right now. I'm glad that I stumbled across this in this video. So you're getting a grand scale of how this guy and who this guy is right now.
If you don't believe it, 4 or 5 days ago we bought a Ferrari, and yesterday we were at a music video shoot with Rampage. Now, some people may be like, blah, blah, blah. It's not that big a deal. Yes, it is. It opens a door. And that's just the first one. It just keeps on happening. So as much as I would have loved to go enjoy this humble year and everything, I also realize we're in LA, and LA is all about flex and flash and look at me and all that. So if you have that and you can utilize it to your advantage to build a business, to network, to get more opportunities than you would have normally gotten doing the humble year, then go for it. So that is the decision I decided to make. So I'm keeping the cars, going to be more low key in certain aspects, but the cars aren't going anywhere.
All right. So you just got full on scale Anthony Farah. All right. So someone was just asking me, are you been watching him lately? I haven't really followed him in probably about a year and a half. I know he's been kind of sputtering around. I haven't heard much. And then literally this apology video popped up in my feed and I was like, what the fuck is this? So now we're going to get to the juicy stuff to end the stream out. We're going to play the apology video. And then he had a little comeback video today after he posted this one about 48 hours ago. So let's bring that up. I know this has all been kind of gripping at you right now. And this is the video. And you can see he is a different looking person here. Very in shambles at this point, in my opinion. Lakota says, if the money is ultimate goal in life, then do whatever is needed to keep up the appearances. All right. If he owned all the watches, this might have worked. Yep. All right. And then Jack says, LA is about flash more so for people who move here rather than for those who were raised here. Absolutely. All right. Let's see what Anthony says about hitting rock bottom. And so the way that this all came out was, remember at the very, very beginning, I showed you that text message. Well, that got out and people started buzzing on Reddit. People started buzzing on YouTube that this, did you see this Anthony thing? There was videos going up, and then he had to come out and essentially make this video that we're going to watch right now. So notice a lot of things in this video. He's going to blame everybody but himself. I have to give him a little bit of credit. He does say that none of my employees were involved, so he's going to take this fully on his shoulders. I'm going to also probably say that, in my opinion, some authorities may be talking to him soon. And I probably, in my opinion, probably wouldn't be doing videos like this. I'd get a damn good fucking lawyer, because you're going to be in a heap of shit right now. And this is the nature of his personality, is always to bite back and fight back. And you're going to see that and get snappy. And it just ends up digging him more in a hole. At this point, I would have probably put a small video out and said, hey, I have some things going on right now. I'm going to go silent and take care of my business. and that's it. And get a lawyer. And get a lawyer, a strong lawyer, because I'm sure you're going to be getting some calls. You got to think a lot of these transactions happen through wire. So there could be some bad business dealings there. Definitely the authorities could be involved. He could go to jail. He could get personally sued. There's a lot on the line here. One thing that I do want to say this, and I have heard this come up just recently over the last couple of hours, was look, Anthony was getting a lot of messages, and I don't condone any of these actions at all. I'm sure that you can understand probably the tone of some of those messages that he was receiving in ways to get rid of himself. And I would never condone anybody to ever say that to anybody. And I would never condone anybody to even have those particular types of thoughts. I've had suicide in my family. My brother has killed himself, and it's not something that I would wish upon anybody. There is always a way out. There is always a way out to find the appropriate help if you're in these particular types of situations. My safety in all of this right now, and that, look, Anthony's a bad guy. Anthony has done some bad things, but he does not deserve to have people come at him and say things like they're saying to off himself. It'd be just better if you off yourself. My concern right now is to make sure that he is safe and that he has, an appropriate person that he can talk to or reach out to. We don't want anything bad to happen to him in that sense. But if there is crime involved here of what he's saying, then he needs to pay for that through the legal process. So if Anthony is watching this, LTL podcast, myself as the creator on this channel, I do wish you well in the sense of your personal well-being. I think you need to be a man. I think you need to step up and take care of this particular problem. And you need to apologize in whatever way that you need to, as a verbal apology, or in some way a compensational apology to the victims that were involved in this. And it's going to take you a long time to get yourself out of this, but you need to pay and step up like a man and do the right thing by these victims. I don't know the grand scale of it. Again, I don't know Anthony personally, but I don't want to see anybody say things like that to anybody, because that's not the right way to resolve anything. And, he needs to pay through the legal system if there has been crimes that have been involved, and he needs to pay back these victims in any way possible. So we're going to play the rock bottom video, and then we have another one that he came out with, and I'm like, dude, you need to just shut your mouth at this point. All right, here we go.
All right, everybody. I think it's time I finally put out a video and address everything that's going on.
I had it on double speed because I was rewatching it before I did the stream. All right, let me go back here. All
right, everybody. I think it's time I finally put out a video and address everything that's going on. These last few days have been a large amount of, just stuff coming out, and I can't hide from it any longer. I can't just avoid it. I have to, talk about it. I wanted to give it some time to kind of sink in and just see what was going to happen. But, the first thing I have to say is that this message is meant for my clients that are directly involved. It's for the dealers that are involved. It's for, my friends that are going to be affected, my former employees, people in the watch industry that are going to be directly affected by my actions. I know my words don't mean anything right now, but I really am genuinely sorry. Just to talk about the first thing that popped up, which is that text message that I sent out to a few clients. That is a real text message.
The problem is, though, and Janet says, facing yourself is a very hard thing to do sometimes. Absolutely. But I want to say, like, oh, hey, I feel bad for this guy, blah, 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 blah. Look, you are the particular person. You are the master of your own fate. You put yourself in this particular types of situations. You have the abilities to think about what is right and wrong. And this is not the first time he's done stuff like this. He's had a lot of missteps in his life. This man needs some real professional help and someone to really peel back those layers and get deep inside him and fix him. And sometimes, people go so deep that they're unfixable. They may just be like this the rest of their lives. And it's really sad, because in the sense that I look at it this way, You know, I think this is someone that has a brilliant creative capability inside of them. You know, as you can see, and I kind of took you through this tour of who he is or who he projected to be. You know, the slick videos, the grabbing the YouTube, having the social media presence. He had all of that. He figured it all out. And to have that talent and be able to run with it, he didn't do that. He let all these other variables get in the way. The lifestyle, the booze, the drugs, the money, the women, the cars, the glitz, the glamour, LA, penthouses, you know, that flooded his brain, where if he would have had just listened to probably some of the people that are around him that were telling him the right things, or just listen to that self thing inside him to say, hey man, you know, you're not doing the right thing, or this is the right thing you should be doing, he probably would have been in a better position here in 2023. All right, we'll keep playing. Sorry.
That is something that I sent. And I sent that, you know, because life just hasn't been fun lately, you know. Like the message said, I've battled with demons, and I've let stuff get the best of me, and I've made a lot of bad decisions. I made a lot of dumb mistakes. I even lied in that message about a robbery, you know, hoping to cover it up even more while I try to fix it. And, you know, it's gotten to where just living this fake lifestyle, this look at me, I'm smart, I'm successful, you know, keeping up the appearances, it's eating me alive. You know, I drink every night just to be able to go to sleep. I've lied to my employees, I've lied to my clients, I've lied to my friends, I've lied to my peers.
I mean, personally, I think the only reason that he came out and had to do this was because I think the money's dried up. The money's all gone. So now you have no choice. You have to come out. The money is gone. It's not there anymore. He's fucked. He's fucked.
And it was all keeping up this facade. It was not being willing to admit that I'd made mistakes very early on. You know, I'll admit it. I got a little taste of success and never wanted to forget that feeling. So when I did make dumb decisions, I would write them off, or I wouldn't address them, because if I addressed something I did that didn't work, then to me that was admitting failure. And my ego was too big. My personality didn't want that to happen. I didn't want people thinking I was a failure. I didn't want people thinking I was a fraud, a fake. You know, I got accustomed to this lifestyle, and getting that type of attention, it ruined me. I built a hell of a business when I was sober, and you know, I made some little mistakes when I was in Dallas, and you know, part of my past came back to haunt me. So, you know, not to say that that's the cause of it. The stuff I did was wrong. Spending people's money, you know, living above my means, living this flex lifestyle, all that stuff.
Don't feel sorry, Phil.
But
he did it to himself. He's a man. He made those decisions.
Dealing with the kind of backlash that I've gotten.
Oh, I see your smiley face.
I'm not using it. I'm not blaming it on that, but it is hard. It is a stressor, and I deal with it, and I do my best to keep it suppressed and pretend like it doesn't bother me, but it does. I've gone on my little tyrants where I respond to haters on social media, and I'm getting carried off. I'm getting carried away, but you know, that message was real. The voice recording was real. That was me talking to a client. You know, obviously I was unaware that he was recording, but that phone call came because I needed someone to talk to. You know, I've been digging myself this hole, and it's a $5 million hole. Yes, it's true. I'm $5 million in debt. You know, about $3 million of that debt is to two big clients of mine. One who acted as an investor, and I used his money to fund my lifestyle. The other who I'll just leave it at that. I owe two big people $3 million. And I owe a lot of small people a collective $2 million for watches that I've sold. And, you know, I can't take that back. I can't lie about it. But me reaching out to the client to talk about it was because I didn't know who I can trust. I didn't know who I could vent to or talk about it to, but I knew that I just didn't want to hold it in anymore. Like I'm tired of living this lie. I'm tired of the person that I was becoming. You know, I wasn't happy. I haven't been happy for a long time, but I've been putting on this facade like everything's great and everything's perfect. And look at me, I drive a Lambo and my life's amazing. And it's all a lie. It's all
Yeah,
fake.
I think
Like,
so
I
too,
fucking
Danielle.
hate it. You know, like that's what it's gotten to. And, you know, could I have kept this lie up for a little while longer? Probably. And I'm not proud of that. And I never meant to hurt anybody. And, you know, my mistakes are what dug this hole deeper and deeper and deeper to the point where if I don't stop it, I'm not going to get out.
So the only thing that I could say, if AF is playing it smart here, and we know that in these particular types of cases, intent is really hard to prove sometimes. So let's say that everything is clear in his transactions, but the intent is hard to prove. So let's say he goes into court and you're putting something out like this to say, hey, you know, I never really meant, it just all got out of control. But let's say in the back end, you really did mean it. It would be hard to really prove that if all your financials looked clean. You know what I'm saying? But intent is a very, very thing, you know, hard thing to prove in these particular cases. So we could come out and just say, oh, you know, I didn't mean to do it. You're putting this video out as kind of video evidence.
Yeah, it's going to get so big that it's irreparable.
Yeah, he's on a big time.
Admitting those kind of things, like, it was the hardest thing. It was the most embarrassing thing. Like I said, it's hard for someone like me to admit failure, to admit defeat, to admit that I'm an alcoholic, or I have a drug problem, or I have a gambling problem, or I have a spending problem, or I've wasted money on cocaine and hookers and nights out in Vegas and just dumb shit, living this fake lifestyle to impress people that don't really care. You know, that's who I've become. And I hate it. I drink myself to sleep every night to be able to, you know, just to get rid of the stress for a little bit. And this last week and a half since this stuff started coming out is where it's my breaking point. This is a rock bottom for me. Like, this feeling like this is worse than sitting in a prison cell, which is where, you know, I may end up. I don't know. You know, I was hoping that by talking to a couple people about this and sending a message out to clients, you know, I understand I've hurt a lot of people and I've screwed a lot of people, but my idea wasn't to, you know, get away from it. It was to accept it and own what I've done and start trying, like, start the process to try to fix it. I can't change what I've done, but I also don't want to hide from it. I don't want to lie about it anymore. I don't want to pretend, you know, to be something I'm not. I just want I want a chance at a real life, and I haven't had a real life in a few years. You know, especially not my life. I don't know what's going to come of this. You know, the one thing I'll say is that this is 100% on me. You know, everything, the lies, the deception, the money, you know, it's all on me. My employees, you know, I've watched a lot of the backlash that they're getting, the threatening phone calls, the death threats and stuff. And it's just, that's not fair to them, man. It's, you know, one of the biggest reasons I wanted to make this video is to say that this is my problem. This is my mess.
No problem. Thanks,
Lakota.
I appreciate
I'm gonna have to dig out of. You know, my team leaving as this started to come out was the smartest decision they could have made, which was to separate themselves from the chaos that I have created and the potential aftermath this is going to have, and give them a chance, like a fighting chance, to go do their own thing. And, you know, if I could ask anything, if you guys want to hate me, I completely understand that. I deserve it. If you want to back.
Hey, Ali, you know, I had to do a stream on this. I mean, this could be a potential, allegedly, a white collar crime. It could potentially, allegedly be a white collar crime. I think, Ollie, I think that Anthony's got a lot of problems here, bro. I think he's gonna, I don't know. So Ollie says, just when Brian thought he was out, TPG pulled him back in. Of course, today I was with the woman and missed JJ's too. I was actually chatting in JJ's stream today. It was a great stream over there. I was so happy for him. He had like over 500 people watching, which was great. Paul Thorpe was on there. You had Roman on there for a little while, and he had a great panel of guests. Marco was on there as well. But dude, I appreciate the 1477. He always has these really crazy super chats when he does them. But yeah, man, I'm gonna keep on this one. It's not gonna be my everyday show, but I'm definitely not being a watch YouTuber again. But it's what little crowd I have in here tonight, they're interested, and I think once people watch this on the replay and how captivating this story is, I think people will really like it. And yeah, Ali says, you have no idea. You'll have more to cover on TPG. You have no idea. Yeah, this is big. And if Ollie's saying that, if Ollie the man, Ollie G is saying that, then he knows the grand scale of this. I mean, really, really, this is going to get crazy. Danielle says, I really enjoy the show. I'm totally going to want to know what's going on with him. Yeah, we're going to do more of this. I mean, this is something that we're going to follow. Ollie says, you have no idea. I have no idea. Janet says, I thought this was really interesting too. I think when people watch this back on replay, I think it's going to pull them in. It's a very captivating story. All right, let's listen to Mr. Rock Bottom.
Bash me, I deserve it. And, there's nothing I can do about that. But my team had no idea about this. I control the money. I control the books. They were just doing their jobs. They were doing what I told them to do. So let them separate from the TPG organization. Let them, give them a fair shot at doing what I didn't do and creating a real business and creating a real life, and leave everything that's involved with this to me, because I'm the one that did it. I take 100% responsibility for everything that's going on right now. And I don't want you guys to attack them and take away their shot at a life because of the stupid shit that I've done.
Yeah, right, Jack. I know. Darby and Liz.
Like I said, I can't take back what I've done. I can only accept it.
It's ironic that there's police sirens in the background
guys
when he said that.
I don't expect any forgiveness, but like I said in my initial message, I'm not hiding from this. I'm not turning my social media off. I'm not going to file bankruptcy. I'm not going to leave the country. I'm not going to do any of those things. The whole point was to own it and start figuring out a way to try to fix it. Now, again, I didn't anticipate it getting this big. And I didn't anticipate it blowing up this fast. And maybe that's part of my problem, is I don't anticipate stuff. I don't anticipate the worst. I just hope for the best on everything. And that's still true to today. I don't know what the worst has to come. I don't know what tomorrow holds. I know it's going to be a shit show for a while, and it's just getting started. And I've got a lot on my plate that I'm going to have to deal with, but I'm prepared to deal with what I've caused. I'm fully aware of what I've done, how many people I've hurt, and how bad this can get. And I accept it. And, I may not be able to work for a while. I may not be able to do any business anywhere. I don't know, but I know that somehow, some way.
Streamrod, you rule. Now we can pull up these members. So Ollie said, Ollie's been a member for 4 months. I appreciate your membership, dude. He says, why does YouTube force us to member milestone chat? Stop it, YouTube.
I will fix this, and I will write everybody that I've wronged.
I think it's cool that we can actually pull them up now through StreamYard. We couldn't do it before.
But I'm not going to hide from it. I'm going to do my best to fix it. Hopefully I can get a job. I don't know. I honestly don't have an answer. But
Daniel says you're going.
I'm not going to screw anybody.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot of problems.
And I'm not going to.
Hey, Victorine, how are you?
Put blame on anybody but myself. I let my demons and everything get the best of me. I lied to people. I abused people's trust.
I took advantage of people
This guy's
with
so
my
sad.
reputation, and I manipulated people, and I
Yeah,
screwed a
police
lot of
signs in the
people.
background. How
And that's
ironic
something
is
I'm gonna
that?
have to live with for the rest of my life and a long time. But you know, the
Hey,
only thing I
Ron,
can
what's
do is
going
say
on,
I'm
buddy?
sorry to
Good to
everybody
see you here.
involved. I'm
You have
sorry
to
to
go back
everybody
on the
that's
replay, bro.
indirectly involved that's gonna feel something from this, you know. That's really all I've got. You know, I fucked up. Regardless of how this looks and what's being said and the dumb shit I've done, I don't think I'm a bad person.
Let Blondie
I think I did some
post.
very bad
Don't
things.
delete her
And,
stuff. Let
you
Blondie
know,
post.
part of my mind
She's
justifies
cool.
doing one bad thing to make right for another person, but that doesn't justify me doing the bad thing. But
Yeah.
at the end of the day, I still don't think I'm a bad person. I think I made some really, really bad decisions, and I've screwed some people over. And I've got a lot of work to do on myself, but the only thing I can do is just take it from here on out, take it a day at a time, realize where I'm at, and just, you know, this is one of the worst feelings I've ever felt in my life. I'm not going to drink today. I'm not going to use any drugs today. And
just today, though,
I'm going to try not, and tomorrow I'm going to wake up with the attitude and just, I'm going to take it as it comes and just take it a day at a time. And, you know, and I know that this means nothing to anybody and right now, and it's just words. And, you know, maybe this is just,
yeah,
people are going to say that this is
I'm
a
not
video
judging
for
anybody in LA,
sympathy
Jack.
and whatever.
You know who
I
he
get
is.
it. But I sent those messages with a purpose to try and start digging myself out of a hole that was coming. It was only a matter of time before that got out. I just couldn't live with myself and who I was becoming anymore. So this is my rock bottom. So, you know, you guys can accept it or not. It is what it is. I'm in a hole. I'm going to do my best to fix it. If someone gives me opportunity to, I'm going to take that opportunity. If nobody gives me the opportunity, then I'm just going to take life as it is and accept whatever my fate is. But to all those of you that really are truly involved that I haven't already spoken with, you have my word that as long as I'm around, I will do my best to get you made whole. And that's all I've got right now.
Okay, so a couple of things that, you know, key takeaway from the video, and I got one more video before we wrap up the stream. His kind of his response after he posted the video. I think that he's got some big problems. I don't want to see anybody say the things that they've been saying to him, you know, offing yourself. No one should ever talk that way to anybody. Honestly, in my opinion, I don't think that he really has hit rock bottom. I don't feel that in that video. And I think I just don't feel that way because of what I know about him and all the things that he's done in the past, you know, situations like this. As far as him owning stuff, I don't know his assets, but I think that he's in a lot of fucking trouble. I can say that. Let's see. Jack says another YouTuber blame LA, which plays right into Anthony's hands. I would never blame LA. You are the person, you are the man that makes those particular decisions to bring yourself into these particular situations. You know, you have your conscious mind to do that. I think that he just let his ego, his demons or his ego, whatever you want to call them, get to him, the best of him, and had put him in this particular type of situation. Let's see. Yeah, it is a terrible thing to say someone. That shoulder shrug at the end is going to be picked apart by YouTube body language experts. And the other thing I didn't like about what he said, if I'm around, and again, I don't want to see this guy do anything stupid in the sense of offing himself or hurting himself. That's not the way to tackle this. It's not the way to approach this. There is help. I think the best thing for him to do right now is to get off YouTube, stop talking on YouTube, and get a damn good lawyer. If you're in a lot of this financial trouble and you know that people are going to come after you, get a lawyer, shut down your shit, go, you know, dark, whatever you need to do, and then get this sorted by by a lawyer, you know. Ollie was chiming in too. He says, see that Ollie says, see, that's the same I'm thinking. He's still on YouTube. He hasn't hit rock bottom yet. Absolutely. So with that being said, we're going to pull up the response video today. Blondie says, Ollie, I've been listening, lurking his crime streams for months. I don't believe in my eyes when I saw his thumbnail. Not sure what I said to get timed out. Welcome nowhere. Yeah, let Blondie post. She's cool. I don't know why you got blanked out either. So Blondie's cool. Let her post. I know who she is. Ollie's great. Don't do anything to Ollie. I'll shoot you out of here in 2 seconds. I don't care if you're a mod or what. Let's do this. I'm going to give you... There you go, Ollie. You got mod status. You're my bro. Ollie's got mod status. Yeah, you're all good, Blondie. I know who you are. All good. All right, let's play this fucking video today. This guy could not even wait. And typical Anthony Farah, here we go. Here's his response after his video, his apology video.
All right, guys. Today's video.
Now notice all cleaned up, different, looking a little bit better. Got the muscle shirt on because we're going to get the muscles out there. Here we go.
Is going to be a follow-up from yesterday's video. Now, the version that you saw of me yesterday was a version that was broken. I was at, I was on my last end. I was defeated. I was in what I honestly like to think I was at a rock bottom. A lot of
It's kind of weird. I thought I saw a flash of a camera go off there. Hang on. I might be wrong.
That was broken. I was at, I was on my last end. I was
right there.
I was defeated.
Someone took a goddamn picture. What's that about? Did anybody notice that? Someone had a fucking camera in there with a flash. Let's watch it again.
Yesterday was a version that was broken. I was at, I was on my last end. I was defeated.
Right
I
there.
was in what I honestly like to think I was at a rock bottom.
What would he be up to? Is he getting press? Is he going to get press? What is this? That is a fucking camera flash.
Was that, I was on my last end. I was defeated.
Right
I was in what I honestly like to think I was at a rock bottom. A lot of stuff coming up, a lot of stress, and the stuff I admitted yesterday and I talked about was the hardest thing I've ever put on video. And, I put that out there and I meant every word of what I said when I said I was going to try to.
Someone's definitely in the room with him.
Today's video is going to be a little bit different. Today's video is a different version of me. The version you're going to see in this video is the version that's going to get me out of this mess. It's the version that gets me out of everything whenever I fuck up.
So Ollie says it's plausible someone is taking pictures of the watches he had been posting in a hurry. He still is playing watches for sale. Yeah, absolutely. Blondie says always a photo opportunity. Wow, that's telling. He's signing confessional autographs now. That's a great one, Jack. I love that. Oh, that's great. I love that.
I make a mistake. There is a side of me that
maybe
what I have to do to fix it.
Here's the thing, man. Here's the thing, and I'm sorry I stopped the video again. I'll back up a little bit. The thing that he needs to do right now is get himself off of social media. Just get off social media. Give back all the consignment watches to these people that you have consignment watches for. And then whatever assets you have, you need to start selling that immediately and start paying these people back. And then you need to get a damn good lawyer, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be 100 people that come after you. That's probably the smartest thing to do right now.
Everything I can. There's a drive. There's a determination. When I said I'm going to face the music, I mean that. No matter what comes of this, I'm willing to accept it. I've already mentally prepared myself for that. But that's not what I'm focused on right now. I cannot change the past. It's out there.
Maybe.
Everybody knows. Everybody's talking about it. Dwelling on it is not going to change it. It's not going to get people paid back. It's not going to make anybody's situation any better. It's not going to fix mine. I know it's going to get worse for me before it gets better, but it can't start getting better until I start. So that's what this video is about today.
Yeah,
this
exactly.
video is to tell you guys that like I mentioned, I'm not running from my mistakes. I've openly admitted everything. I've put it on public forums. I've not deleted any social media. I'm not hiding. We've seen this, guys. Any of you dealers out there that are watching this, count how many times you've seen in the industry when someone gets in my situation and they disappear. They go ghost. They screw everybody involved. It's happened dozens of times. I've only been in this industry for 5.5 years, and I've seen it at least a dozen times. I'm doing everything the opposite. I fucked up and I made some mistakes, and I owe a lot of people money. I admit that. I have some character flaws. I've got some defects. I've got some stuff I've got to work on. I've got some operational things that I've got to fix and I've got to take out of my control. But I have to start, and that starts today. So as of today, what I'm telling you guys, and when I'm talking to this, I'm talking to the people that are directly involved in my business. I'm not talking about the haters out there that are looking for a rise, that are taking this opportunity to try to just crush someone while they're down. Because what you're hoping is that you can crush me and defeat me where I'll give up and you can win.
Oh,
that's the most powerful you're ever going to feel. You got nothing else going on in your life.
Always fighting the internet, dude. You're always fighting the internet. Stop.
You got to crush mine. That's fine. Give it your best shot. It ain't going to beat me. Because the side of me that you're going to see today and from here on out is the side of me that gets me through everything. Every time I've gone to prison and when I've done crazy shit and I've lost everything, this isn't the first time I've lost everything. I've done it. I'll do it again. I'm going to get through it because that's who I am.
He says this is not the first time I've lost everything and I'll do it again. What the fuck?
That's who I am on the other side of what you saw yesterday. So you guys can try all you want to crush me. This message isn't for you. My message is for the people that I owe money. It is for the watch industry. It's for dealers that have been affected. It's for anybody else. Today I'm giving it everything I can.
Yeah, Blondie. Thanks for
stopping by. I've created. That's going to take some help. I can't do it all by myself. Luckily, I have a few people in my corner that are willing to make that happen, or they're willing to help as best they can and give me a shot to see if I can do what I say I'm going to do. Because
thank you so much.
If you guys, if the haters out there are successful in crushing me, guess what? It didn't hurt me. It hurts everybody else involved. I'm going to face what I'm going to face, whether I fix this or not. That's not changing. I can't take back what I did. What I can try to do is make good on the people I owe at the very least. So that's what I'm going to do. So everybody out there that's involved that I owe money, you have my word. I'm still here. I'm still posting. I'm not going anywhere. I have a few big people in my corner that I also owe money. And you know what? Their money's only as safe as my ability to earn money. So the harder that people come out there, the more allegations that people come up with, the more of my old videos guys pull out and try to spin every which way. You know, if you're successful in what you're trying to do and crush me, you're just hurting everybody else. But I'm not going to let that happen. That's not who I am.
There you go.
So from here on out, you know what? I'll make it a commitment to post a video every day, updating you guys what I'm doing, where I'm at. Well, what I'm doing and what my plan is to fix this mess.
He goes, where I'm at. Well,
updating you guys what I'm doing, where I'm at. Well, what I'm doing and what my plan is to fix this mess step by step. It's not going to be easy and it's not going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen in a month. It's not going to happen in 6 months. It may take a year, but it has to start somewhere. And that's where I'm starting right now.
14 grand a day.
So for everybody out there that doesn't have faith, you guys can go fuck yourself. Everybody else that sent me, and you know who I'm talking about. It's you guys that are sending me, go kill yourself messages. And
yeah, that's not
I can't
cool.
count how many messages I've gotten.
I don't condone that at all. That's not cool. None of that stuff should be happening.
People wishing, like, you actually wish suicide on somebody.
Yeah, it's not
Fuck
cool.
You.
Yeah, that's not cool.
It's really going to hurt you whenever I pull this off. And that's what I know most of you are afraid of. Is that I actually, yes, I did some bad shit. Guess what? I'm not the first person in history to do bad shit. I'm going to be one of the first ones to do some bad shit and then come back and make it right, though. I can promise you that. So if I seem a little bit more aggressive, it's because I've got an overwhelming amount of messages that are literally preying on my demise. And I hate to break it to you. You're going to get fucking pissed off whenever I pull this off. On the flip side of that, I've actually got a lot of support, and that's where I'm at right now. This is the side of me that I focus on, is the support that I've got. People know what I've done. And you know what? If anyone can fix it, it's me. And I'm going to. I have enough support in my corner that I can get through this. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be fast, but it's going to happen little by little. And I'm going to document it. So all of you can watch it. You guys can hold me accountable and watch me do what I say I can do. So once again, I apologize for the people that I've wronged, the people that I owe money. But like I said, I'm right here. I'm not hiding, and it's going to get paid back. One thing a lot of you guys don't see is the conversations I've had with people, again, actually involved in my business, the people that I owe money. I've had dozens of conversations with people. And at the end of the day, what a lot of you haters don't realize is the people that I owe money, they just want to get paid. Yeah, they're disappointed. Yeah, I betrayed their trust. It happens. Businesses fail. But a failing business is only as good as the person trying to make it right. And that's what I'm trying to do. So but all the conversations with people that I owe money and they're on my side still, some of them are sitting right across from me, watching me film this. And they're the ones that are going to give it one more shot. So, you know, if you have an ounce of hope that
oh boy,
I can pull through this and make it right, stick with me. Tune in every day, and I will post some kind of update, and I will show you. However long this takes, I'm going to ride this shit till it's over. So, see you guys tomorrow.
Oh boy. Oh, Anthony. Ah, this guy. I don't know, man. Just crazy stuff. Fuck this guy. Jesus Christ. All right. Well, that's Anthony Farah, the Timepiece gentleman. And I kind of took you through the history of Anthony Farah tonight and the Timepiece gentleman. And we've gotten to this point. Anthony now owes $5 million in money or assets or whatever it may be. But yeah, Blondie. Yeah, he's sitting at the edge of his chair. So I think he needs a lot of help. I think he needs to shut his mouth. I think he needs to find a good lawyer. I think he needs to stop worrying about what YouTube and social media is doing. I think he needs to shut down his accounts and seek some professional advice, because I think that he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And you got to think, wiring money has been involved in this. If one of those investors just even call the authorities or an FBI agent or the FBI, or the IRS, those are particularly people I would not want on me. So it remains to be seen what happens. Mind your businesses. I want more. I can't wait for more. I told you, if you stayed with me from the beginning of the video and get to this point, I mean the presentation, you were going to be gripped by this story. He has that power on people to pull people in and grip. I promise that I will do more of this as we get updates. Again, I'm not going back into the watch streaming YouTube space. It's not what I'm doing here, but this potentially could be a white collar crime. And that's why I wanted to bring this out. And I have some past connection to it, as I was a watch YouTuber in the past. But I thought this would be a great story. I know it probably wasn't going to pull a lot of people in here tonight because no one knows who the hell this guy is. But hopefully on the replay, some of you get really captivated by this, and we can continue to do a little bit more of this. But if you're watching this live, obviously you can chat. If you're watching a replay, let me know down in the hashtag replay in the comments, and let me know if you want me to report more on this, because I will. Let me just get to a couple of these chats before I get out of here. Blondie says that's what he's admitting, so it has to be for much more money. Federal. Absolutely. It's a federal crime. Definitely. Grip Brifter. Yep. I had no idea you were on the watch YouTube. Oh yeah, I go way back. Blondie, I used to stream with like JJ and Marco and Tim and all of them. And then I kind of changed my channel over to more of a podcast. Now I'm in true crime, but this potentially could be a crime. So yeah, I've hung out with all those guys. I go back. I jump on JJ's every once in a while. I was just on there the other night, and I know Ollie. I know all those guys: Ari, Ollie, Marco, JJ, Archie. So, but yeah, I got out of that. I was in the business for about 16 years. I left it last year, and I just don't really want anything to do with it anymore. So we're on the LTL podcast now, and we just cover true crime and hot stories like this. So again, go back and watch this on replay. I'm telling you, you're all going to be captivated by this. You're going to want more of it, believe me. All right. Well, we're at about the 2-hour mark, coming up at about 10:30 here on the East Coast. You know how to get in touch with me. Let's Talk Live Podcast at gmail.com. You can follow me on Twitter at Let's Talk Live YTC, or on Facebook on my page with LTL Podcast. You can find me over there. Blondie says, I had no idea. Yep. Yeah, I was a little watch YouTuber for a while, but we do a lot of just true crime stuff now, particularly the Idaho case. But I don't know. I think when I shut this down tomorrow night, I'm going to be doing the Lori Vallow. I'm going to break down her speech from court, and then you all know what happens on Saturday nights. That's for tomorrow. That's Lori Vallow. And then on Saturday nights, the Super Show, Brian Koberger, Idaho 4. I'm going to drop the link for that. Click that. I'll be back 9:15 on both of those nights, tomorrow night and on Saturday night. We'll do the Super Show on Saturday. Maybe I can get Tanya over here for a little bit and hang out. Maybe we can do a little cross-pollinating on the streams. But there was a document that came out today in the Idaho 4 case. Brian Koberger's defense team provided a alibi. We're going to get a little bit more on that on Saturday. If you go over my community page, I posted the link. You can read through their alibi, and we'll discuss that on Saturday night's speech. I'm reading the chat right now. I said speech. Saturday night show. All right, I'm getting out of here. You guys all be good. Thanks for hanging out in this little stream tonight. I hope that she's doing her 10K party on Saturday. Yeah, maybe I'll pop over and congratulate her. I didn't know she was doing it. She didn't let me know, but yeah, we'll pop over and say hi, and then I'll start my show. But that's going to be it. Lori Vallow Daybell tomorrow. Come hang out. I'm going to get out of here. Bye, guys. Be good. Peace.